like we, like he
What is up, booze? I am drinking my big ass mug of tea. Black tea with a little bit of Splenda. Refreshing. Ladies, you know, as I'm growing this channel, I started to think about what I would tell the younger version of me. What would younger Paris really need to know in her early 20s and mid 20s that now at 33 years old, a wiser person who has put in time, energy, and money into healing and learning about it and taking proactive measures to enhance my life with whatever's in my control. And I came up with 5 lessons of life that I've learned thus far as a 33-year-old woman that I want to share with you 20-somethings. This isn't going to be, you know, take care of your skin, take care of your body, that is absolutely vitally important, okay? Let's just get this out of the way. But there's some things that not everybody brings up, and I want to talk about it today. Number 1, let him go. Let him go, okay? Yes, I'm talking about toxic relationships. This is coming from a person who spent her entire 20s in several long-term relationships. I gave my entire 20s to men. It wasn't until I got into my 30s that I started building a relationship with myself. And that caused for a lot of very toxic relationships, a lot of tears, a lot of abuse. And it was all came down to I had no respect for myself. I used those relationships as a distraction from the inner work that I needed to do. So I ran as much as I could. And ironically, it wasn't until I was about to be 30 years old that I had no choice but to face myself in the mirror. And I think that God has his timing for everyone. And no matter what age you are now, if you haven't made that step, I needed to wait until my time to actually say, okay, I'm in a corner. All right, self, what we got to do? It's me and you. It's me and me, right? It wasn't until I let him go and him that I was able to build a beautiful foundation of a relationship with myself that no one could take away and that no one would want to, because like attracts like, right? So now I'm attracting the right types of people into my life, which brings me to my next point. Cut off some of those friends. I know that you have been friends since kindergarten. I know all your family gets along, but it's already hard enough trying to make life happen. It's already hard enough navigating through this thing called life, understanding yourself, trying to grow, trying to become the best version. To have heavy weight shackling you at your ankles as you try to fly, there's no time for that. As you're learning things, you kind of want to share it with others. You want people to join you on board, but it's really not the time for that. First of all, as you're learning, people haven't seen your results yet. So your intention of trying to get them to grow with you, they will come to you naturally as you get results. You don't need to preach to anyone. Anyone feeding out negative energy can stifle anything you're going through. Find yourself like-minded friends who are on similar journeys. They do not have to be the same, type of people. I have friends all age ranges, all walks of life, and that's the beauty of it. But guess what? We all have a similar interest in becoming our best version. The most important factor in happiness is your relationships, and I've become to understand the importance of that as I'm growing older. It's not about the quantity. It's not about how many friends you have. This ain't high school no more, honey. It's about quality and depth and adding value to each other's lives. And that goes for every relationship. My third tip for my 20-somethings. Half of my family was Catholic and the other half was Southern Baptist. My Southern Baptist side, I grew up listening to T.D. Jakes and watching him. And in my darkest of times, not even that long ago, I was listening to one of his sermons, and he spoke about this beautiful metaphor of eagles and eaglets, baby eagles. And eagles are very stubborn. They don't like to get out on their own to fly. They're one of the only birds that really kind of don't want to get out and fly. So in order to do so, once it's their time, the mother bird takes the food that normally she would put into the nest and she puts it outside of the nest. That way, when the little eaglets go to eat, she is able to rearrange the sticks and twigs in the nest so that when the eaglets come back to sit, it's uncomfortable. They don't like being there anymore. They have no choice but to fly because it's so uncomfortable. This was such a beautiful analogy in an experience of mine of leaving the nest in your 20s. Even if you have the privilege to stay with your family for an extended period of time and it works out for you, to give yourself some time to live in an area that's not easy to get back to people that you know and love. It sounds scary because it is. It goes back to building that relationship with yourself. And for me, I'm from Southern California. I've lived there my entire life, and I never thought that I was going to be able to leave. I'm like, my family's here, you know. I was a young mom. I'm like, I need this help. I was never mentally allowing myself the opportunity to even envision a life outside of just Southern California. God told me it was my time. He stirred my nest, okay? And I led to Arizona. Now, it wasn't that far from my family, but it was far enough that if homegirl wanted to meet up for lunch or if my parents needed a favor, I couldn't easily do so. I had less opportunities to distract myself with people and to get to know me. Again, building that solid relationship with myself. So make sure you take time in your 20s to leave the nest. All right, number 4, say yes. Everybody's always talking about say no and setting boundaries, and we can get into that another time. Make sure you subscribe. I would love to do a video on boundaries. Super important. But what about saying yes? Saying yes to new opportunities. Saying yes to exciting experiences. Saying yes to something that scares you. What about saying yes? I decided I was just going to say yes more often. Before, I was just a people pleaser. I was saying yes to everyone else, and you don't want to mistake that. I've been saying yes now to me. Yes, Paris, try that. Yes, turn on the camera and create. It's like you're going through this journey. Nobody else is going through this journey with you. It's just you. My last and final, but the absolute most important thing that I know and will bring with me for the rest of my life, ladies especially, follow your intuition. A woman's intuition is her greatest asset, okay? There's just something that we can just feel. You don't need to explain it. Think about this electricity right now. You're watching me through a little baby box. Can you explain how electricity works to me? Same thing about intuition. People are going to try to show you the facts, but you just might have another feeling that another way is for you. Follow that. And based on you can always go back and try again. All right, ladies, I just wanted to keep it short and sweet for you. I have so much beautiful life to live. It's such an amazing thing to have your youth, and it's such an amazing thing to just develop into the beautiful woman that you're becoming. And just as me, you know, I feel like I'm fine wine, honey. I'm just aging like so gracefully. That's what I'm telling myself, and learning from women who are doing it the way I want to do. So that's what I have for you today. Let me know if you have any other tips, ladies in your 30s or even ladies in your 20s, things that you are learning now or have learned in the past to just help each other out with not having to go through so much grief and enjoying the journey of life that much more. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to share this video with someone that you think will enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.